We get our speed from Mom and Dad.
They do stuff super fast. And now they got this new kitchen, so they're even faster. So they can help us with our free throws.
The time-saving Frigidaire Gallery line with a quick preheat and smudge-proof stainless steel that resists fingerprints and cleans easily. It's mealtime in no time, from start to clean. Frigidaire Gallery.
Save more during Frigidaire Gallery bonus days when you buy 3 or more qualifying appliances. See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Hi, I'm John Mallows. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. Glad you're along. Today is a business day. We're going to focus on a young person who has a business that hopefully will start thriving very soon. We're going to help her out here. We're going to talk about it. It's a very interesting business, and you may know her. She's been a guest on this program before as a representative of the SPCA. 436-ME-TV, option 11. Glad to have you along on a Wednesday morning.
Tonight I want to discuss the importance of the television medium to the American people.
Back on the program here on Connect with Me on Me TV Fresno, and as usual you're watching us on Comcast channel 187 and 43.6 and of course now 13.1. We're glad to have all your viewers along on this Wednesday morning on all 3 of those channels and many more. Do you realize that the replay takes place at 2 o'clock this afternoon at 13.6 on YouTube, and then at 8 o'clock tonight 13.5, that would be Biz TV. So YouTube and Biz TV have our program on the air later in the day and on the night. And then I just, as you well know, if you watch this program, I just joined Twitter not long ago. I guess I'm a late Johnny-come-lately on this thing because most of the people I know have been on Twitter for a long time, and I just joined last week. That's the address right there at John Mallows Me TV. Don't have that many followers yet, but I guess I've been told it takes a while to gain the following. And then we tweet out certain things, or at least I do, regarding the show here on Connect with Me. All right, let's go out to City Hall. I want to put up the picture that you're familiar with, my friends. I feel like he's a family member here at Connect with Me because we show his picture each and every day, because month 3 and counting, no callback from Mark Standriff, the communications director for the city of Fresno, on this water issue. Not since before Thanksgiving as he called us and appeared on this program to talk about the water rates going up. You can try to reach him. Good luck. 621-8000. Recording 621-8618 if you want to listen to the recording. By the way, we go to the mailers. You have until February the 5th to mail these in. Do you want your water rates to go up? If the answer is no, check the box on that card, sign it, mail it back today, because next Thursday, February the 5th, is in fact the deadline. So no complaints. That is your protest vote right there. You should have received these over the holidays, Christmas and New Year's. We're going to continue to try to get a hold of Mark Standriff. And also we're going to continue on this Crime Stoppers thing. You know, no luck yet by the Fresno Police Department in tracking down the killer or killers of 9-year-old Janessa Ramirez, who was killed a week ago on Sunday. A stray bullet that traveled more than 300 yards. This poor little girl and her family, they just buried her last Saturday. This all happened at Clinton and Marks. Police believe that some gang members got into a shootout, and Vanessa was the victim of a stray bullet that traveled more than 300 yards. If you have any information, please call that number, 498-STOP. And then if you don't want to call Crime Stoppers, you want to talk to someone directly at the police department, call 621-2000, or at least, you know, maybe go in and talk to your pastor, your priest, that you know something. It's going to take someone with guts, with courage, and the ambition to turn these people in, these cowards that shot that poor little Janessa Ramirez. A 9-year-old girl, was a student in the 4th grade over at Steinbeck Elementary School. All right, the focus today on business, a business owned by a young woman only in her mid-20s. That's right. And it's quite interesting because she wears about 4 different hats trying to conduct business here. All right, let's roll the videotape and I'll show you what I'm talking about, my friends. She's not a doctor, but she does house calls. She's on the go most of the day and night, all thanks to Thalia's mobile services. If you want to get hitched, call Thalia. She'll show up at your place free of charge, well, not free of charge, for a fee. She will marry you, but you'll have to fill out a questionnaire, and you'll look through several wedding packages as well, ranging anywhere from $100 to $200. And if you need a document notarized, she's the one to call. Again, Thalia will show up at your home, your business, most anywhere that you ask her to show up. That's not all. She offers paralegal services, filling out documents and sending them to court, and helping out with all sorts of legal issues. Finally, Thalia is a translator. Spanish and English, doesn't matter. She can translate just about anything under the sun. That includes legal documents, passports, whatever the case may be. There she is serving one of our fine citizens here in the city of Fresno in this video. Live in our studio right now is Thalia Arenas of Thalia's Mobile Services. So call in. Ask your questions. Hey, even if you want to call in Spanish, and if you don't speak English that well, call in at 436-MeTV option 11 and ask your question today. This business is fairly new. She's young, and we're going to try to help her out here. 436-MeTV option 11. We're back in just a moment.
Spinners Records, the Valley's classic vinyl headquarters, carries an inventory of over 500,000 classic LPs. Choose from rock, rhythm and blues, country, jazz, and oldies but goodies. Spinners also buys and sells fully restored, old school stereo gear and LPs. You can now get a turntable receiver and speakers for below $250. We carry name brands like Marantz, Sansui, and Pioneer.
At Spinners, we sell memories.
Spinners Records at 639 East Olive Avenue in the Tower District.
This fall, there is a place, familiar and inviting, timeless and warm. MeTV, a place all your own that you can call home.
Hi, honey, I'm home.
This fall, home is where you'll find me.
You mean to tell me that's all there is to it?
That's all.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
We're back here on Connect with Me. It is a business day, and we're glad to have along, of course, I mispronounced your name, of course. It's Thalia, right?
Yeah.
Thalia Arenas? All right, I got it right that time. Okay. All right, so tell us a little bit about this business and how you got started, because you work at the SPCA.
Correct.
By day. I don't know what you do at night. I guess you provide all these services, but I think it's a great idea that you started your own business. I saw your car outside. You have all the imprints on the glass there, trying to do some advertising. So tell us a little bit about how this got started.
So I've been doing notary services since 2008. It's been a few years now. It really started just with a interest in business and just helping out the Latino community, because I noticed that they were in need of like legal services at the low cost, and then from a Spanish-speaking person. So I've always been interested in law in the legal field, and that's kind of where that has motivated me to work in that sector, providing the translations, the weddings, the notary services, all that. And I'm mobile, so I'm able to go out to their location, or they're welcome to come over to the home office that I have.
How many requests are you getting for your services? A
Probably,
lot of people?
I would say a month. I probably do about like 10 to 15 requests. It's not a lot. It's a minimal amount due to the fact that I'm at full-time at the SPCA, and then I'm a full-time student. So between that, I'm able to do a little bit on the side. I've just been more aggressively promoting now because the classes kind of went down a little bit. But I am very much dedicated to my business.
Yeah,
so.
You're dedicated to your business, but you're also dedicated to the SPCA.
Correct,
too.
yeah. Dedicated a little bit everywhere.
It's a good thing you're young. You have a lot of energy, a lot of time to focus on this. And so you started your translating first, right? In 2008, you said, basically?
Yeah, basically it was the notary service and translation services. And then from there, I started growing the legal services, so doing legal document assistance after I got my associate in science and paralegal studies at Fresno City in 2012, when that was also the time that I started doing marriages as well. So.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you something. Where did you find out that there was a need for this, the translation, the notary service? service for Hispanics, basically. Most of your clients are Hispanic, right?
Correct, yeah.
Hispanic based.
That is correct. So I used to live in Madera. Now I relocated to Fresno, but in Madera there's definitely a high need. There's a big Hispanic population, just like there is in Fresno and most of the Central Valley. But just through my like relatives and friends, and through that I was able to see the need for it. So that has been my focus, but I definitely provide my services to everyone. And it's just that those tend to be the people that come for my services the most.
Yeah, so if you have to translate something...
I do in English and Spanish or vice versa, so...
Right, right. And are most of your clients, are they immigrants?
Yes, that tends to be the case.
Yeah. And so how do they find out about you?
Usually I leave like business cards in restaurants, like Mexican restaurants and things like that. And from there I start getting calls and then referrals. Most of my referrals are actually coming from my neighbors and from, I live in like the center of Fresno. So in the area that I'm located, it's usually my neighbors and they refer me out, and I have the sign outside because I have the home office. So I do the appointments, and it actually works out for them that even though I'm at the SPCA from 8 to 5, they're also at work. So then when I come home from work, I'm able to do appointments with them because they're also out of work. So it works out for them as well.
Do you think there's a greater need for this in the Fresno area, that in a market that hasn't been tapped yet?
I think when it comes to like the wedding officiant services, and when it comes to translations, there is a need for that more.
Caller, go ahead. You're on with Thalia.
Hi.
Hi.
Yes, good morning. Hola, Thalia.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Muy bien, la Tejanita.
Oh,
I just wanted to
Tejanita.
congratulate her on her new business, and I wish her all the best and a lot of success in this new venture that she's gonna enter into.
Yeah, thank you, Tejanita. I know you're a follower of John Malos. She actually is a person who's very on top of your show, but she actually can't see. So she's always there listening to your show though, and she's always been a follower. She's a really wonderful person.
Yeah, you must know her.
Yeah, I do, from a radio station that I do elsewhere for SPCA work.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a question for Thalia today?
Well, I just wanted to congratulate her on this new venture she's embarking, and I know this kind of business kind of service is needed, very much, especially now with all this immigration that's going around.
Yeah.
And I know she's going to be a big help to the community.
Thank you, Tejanita. I appreciate that.
Right. Thank you so much for the call. I really appreciate it. Hey, I want to put up on the screen. We're going to go through these. I know we got to take a break here in a few minutes. I want to put up the wedding, I should say, officiant, and that's exactly what you are. I want to put up the. I don't know what we're going to put up first. Let's do anything. It doesn't really matter. We'll put up the questionnaire first, I guess, and go through this a little bit. We're going to go through each of these because you have a questionnaire, a flyer, and a package.
Correct.
So the questionnaire, we've got 4 different screens. Okay, here are the basic logistics. You're talking about the type of ceremony that you want.
So when like a bride or a groom, they call in because they're interested in the wedding services, I have a questionnaire. So it's good for them to get to know their wedding officiant. So ask me questions about like how long I've been doing it, what kind of weddings do I do, am I open for different kinds, and am I non-denominational? And then once we get some of their questions out of the way and I figure out like if I'm available for their date, then I start asking them questions about like contact information, the type of the ceremony, is there going to be a rehearsal that I must attend, have they obtained their marriage license, what kind are they going to get, because there's
That's a good question.
Yeah, there's a confidential and then there's a public license, and a lot of people are not familiar with what that is, and then the type of wedding package that they're interested in, as I have different kinds, and then would they like some religious vows included, are they going to have their own, or would they like me to provide some, are there going to be an exchange of rings, a ring bearer, like a flower girl?
Rings.
Yeah, correct. No, and then is there like what kind of wedding theme it is? Because I dress appropriately according to that wedding theme. I have a traditional black gown, or I have a suit, depending on what it is that they would like me to wear.
Okay, why is this information important? How and when did they meet?
Correct.
And their engagement.
Yeah,
and
that's important for me because when I'm developing that script, I want it to cater to them, or very much to fit their needs and whatever it is, what kind of relationship they have. So my scripts are not all the same. They're all different based on the couple. So I like to get to know like when they met and things that they would want everybody else to share with everybody else. So I ask them questions that they would like me to include during the ceremony.
Right. I think we have one more screen on here on the questionnaire, don't we?
Yes.
Experiences they'll never forget. What would make their ceremony a memorable one?
Correct. So I had a situation where a bride, she had some relatives that couldn't attend, but she wanted me to make mention of them during the ceremony, just kind of thanking them and for sending their gifts and things like that. So I can make those kind of mentions and whatever it is that the bride is looking for. So I customize it based on their day.
All right. What about taking pictures? If they can't afford a photographer, let's say you show up at their home or their business, who knows where, to marry this couple. Do you take pictures?
Correct, yes.
You do take pictures
I do
as
take
well?
pictures,
With
yeah.
your cell phone?
I know I have an assistant, and then they bring a camera, and so
Really?
my assistant takes the photograph. So that's if they're interested in that wedding package. I have one that includes the photos, which I put them on the disc, and then I mail them the disc afterwards. So that's
For
how.
a fee.
Yeah, that would be a part of the wedding package. So there's a wedding package that includes the disc of photos, and then there's one that they can just do the signing and ceremony.
There's the wedding package
There we go.
information right there. So you charge anywhere from $100 to what? A couple of $100?
To $200, yeah. So I have 4 wedding packages. The first one we see, it's like usually when they come
What is
to
lovers? What is that? That's a
So
lovers
the-
package? What
so
is that?
I just titled them. I gave them the lovers, the romance, and then we'll see the
Okay.
other ones. So that one is your basic one. They would come to my home office where I have a wedding room, and then we would do the ceremony there. That's
just the basic ceremony.
basic, exactly. They just want to
Okay.
get married, sign here, and something simple.
Boom, out the door.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Then we have what I call the romance special. That one is
Okay.
$150. So then it would be at their desired location, somewhere local within the Fresno City, Madera, or Clovis area.
Okay.
The ceremony, there's a certificate that I provide, and then the signing photo. So I have a camera. Then, of course, my assistant then would take picture of the just the signing, and then the enchanted would be different, and there would be a series of photos, and it would be the whole disc, and that's for an extra $20 more. And then for the 200, they can do, that's a special that I just threw in recently. Because it includes a dinner, so it has everything that I've discussed: the ceremony, certificate, photos, and there's a unity candles. A lot of people are interested, like, what is the unity candle? That's something that's traditionally used in like Christian or Catholic faith based relationships. So they sometimes they choose that. So it's like 2 candles that are they join together and they turn on one candle, and then it has their names engraved in the candles. So that's something more like a for like religious purposes. And then the dinner, again, that one's the special. There's a dinner that's provided at the Oaxaca restaurant, and then with a trio that would be singing for them. So that one's, it's kind of, and
So
that's
you
why.
set that dinner up for them?
Yes, correct. I set up the dinner, and then the trio would go and play for them.
Really? Really? So where does that take place, that dinner?
Yes, it's at the Oaxaca restaurant on Belmont and Chestnut.
Okay, so you have a deal going with
Yeah,
them.
I know the
So
owner.
what if they show up with like 100 wedding guests?
Okay.
That's fine?
No,
long
not
as they pay for
necessarily.
it, or
Well,
is
if
there a
everybody,
limit? Is there a limit?
Oh yes. So the restaurant can probably hold about like 50 people. So yeah, if the dinner is included for the bride and the groom, and then a couple of songs from the trio, and anything extra that they would like, then certainly. But they can invite their family members as well.
Yeah, so those are the packages. That's how much it costs. And we're going to be back with Thalia Arenas. She works and has her own business called Thalia's Mobile Services. If you want to get married, if you need notary, public services, if you need a translator, she's the one to call. We're the ones to call here. 436-MeTV option 11. We're back in just a moment.
It's almost time.
Now we'll find out once and for all about Clark Kent, Superman.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a TV show.
Yes, but who is he? What's his name?
He's Superman.
Golly, Clark, won't that be wonderful seeing Superman?
Fighting a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and television the MeTV way.
No one can do the things that Superman does.
The adventures of Superman.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer. And now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Back here on the program with Thalia Arenas, and she works and has her own business, and we're going to talk about that business. Well, first, though, we're going to put up the disclaimer for this program, and we want to mention that, you know, every week we try to focus on a local business here in the city of Fresno to try to help people out, because Ventura TV has been very fortunate to be here since 1951, and it's a small business that has thrived and thrived and thrived for the better part of 60-plus years here in the Central Valley. It's very well known, so each week we try to help out another business here in the Central Valley flourish as much as we have here at Ventura TV. So Thalia is our guest. So Thalia, I want to finish up on the wedding ceremonies. You also put out a flyer. Let's put that flyer up on the screen and you can talk about it.
Yes.
There it is right there. So what is this flyer? What is this, like a form of advertising for you?
Correct, yes. So it's Thalia's wedding ceremony. So it's promoting the different kinds of ceremonies that I do. As you know, the state of California has approved gay marriages as well. So then that picture just depicts the three different couples. We have a gay wedding, lesbian, or a heterosexual straight wedding. And so it just to promote that, and then so it just says, are you getting married? And then it has it in Spanish, again putting in that the fact that I can speak Spanish. And then for details, it has my number, and then it lists out the different wedding packages that I have, and then it just gives some disclaimers on the side that is kind of listed out there.
Okay, so have you do gay marriages, you do lesbian marriages. Have you done any yet?
Not yet. I have one booked for October, so that that one's gonna be my first one.
Which one is it?
I'm sorry. Oh, it's a gay wedding.
Gay wedding
in October. Yeah,
okay.
October 24th.
Where is it taking place?
It's going to be at Bass Lake. So they chose Bass Lake.
All right, and that's your phone number up there, 718-0405. Of course, it's area code 559. You can call or text for more details if you need any information. So how do you feel, maybe I shouldn't ask you this, but I was going to ask you how you feel personally, if you're Christian, if you're, you know, what your religious faith is. Do you have any second thoughts about doing gay or lesbian?
I have none. I was really excited when the law was passed, because I have friends that are LGBT, so I have no problem. It wasn't just for my services that I would be able to expand, but I was happy for them as well. So
so there's no issue there.
Exactly, there's no problem.
That's good to hear. All right, so good. And again, the number is 718
0405.
Okay, we have a question from an email or a tweet here. Can your guest process legal name change requests? Like if I want to change my name, do I go to you and say, hey, look, I want to change it to Timmy Smith? Okay, so you can change my name to Timmy Smith?
Yes, so then the first thing that needs to be done, the person is going to be directed, or I would direct them to the court office so they can pick up the documents, and at that point, if they need assistance filling them out, then I would certainly be able to do that. So I'm not an attorney, so I'm not there to provide legal advice. I'm only there to kind of explain what the forms state, because sometimes a lot of the legal jargon, people, it's hard for them to understand. So I'm just explaining and filling out the forms. So that would be my job.
All right. Do I look like a Timmy Smith? I better not change my name, right?
No, you don't look like Timmy Smith.
What do I look like?
John Mallows, yeah.
Okay. All right. I can't make this one. I gotta divert on this one. I'll look at this one during the break.
Okay.
Anyway, let's talk about your notary public service that you do. We'll put that up on the screen and talk about that. And then you can go through these one by one and explain what you do as a notary public. There are certain things that you can and can't do. And I want to stress by saying that in a lot of other countries, like in Mexico, for example, or even in maybe Europe, if you're a notary public, you are granted much more in terms of power than you are in this country. So go ahead and talk about each one of these.
So here in the United States, a notary public is going to serve as a witness, so kind of like a state witness, that you are the person that's indeed signing that document where your name is stated, and they would verify that by checking your ID. Afterwards, we would sign and fill out some information on that document that you're bringing us, and we would seal it with the notary stamp. And so that's kind of the process that it would take. In order to become a notary public, there's a class that you would take, and then a state exam of 30 questions. So that's that's one of the services that I started providing at 2008 because I was probably 19 at that point. So you just have to be 18 years of age or older, and and again just pass that state exam. So it is limited power here in the United States in comparison to like Mexico or other places. Over there, they're regarded almost as an attorney in regards to what they can do, the documents that they can process. Yeah, so it's much different. Sometimes people get confused. So when they come to me, they'll start asking me legal questions, and I just remind them that what my role is as a notary public, and that I do not answer legal questions. I refer them to an attorney. I have different attorneys. I have a list of attorneys that I refer to, and so if they have specific questions about family law issues, things like that, then I would refer them there. But if it's just something about signing their document, for the notary seal or the stamp, then I can certainly help them with that. And then as another hat that I do would be helping them with filling out those documents.
Oh, I see. Okay, so limited powers, you could actually get in trouble if you gave them legal advice.
Exactly. I would not give legal advice. In other states, though, they are able to marry. So kind of like I fulfill both roles. I can also marry. So some states can also grant the notary public the ability to marry couples.
Yeah, so that's interesting. And so explain just briefly what the purpose of a notary public is, and what you do, and why it's important to get something notarized.
Okay, so sometimes bank loans or bank documents need to be notarized because they want to make sure they can't verify that it was you indeed who signed it. So they just don't want there to be a discrepancy, or there to be or somebody else to say that they signed those documents. They want to make sure that it was you, and the only way that they can prove that is by you going to a notary public, because the notary public is is sworn in by the state that we verified you in person.
The truth.
That is the truth, exactly. So we don't say that whatever's in that document is true. You could bring me a document telling me that you're the president of the United States. That's okay. You can say that in your document. Whatever you say is fine. So I'm not there to say that what you said in that document is correct. I'm just there to say, yes, you did sign that document in front of me.
Okay, so can this document hold up in court? A document that's been notarized.
Correct.
It can be an official court document?
That's correct.
It can be.
Yes, and I do recommend anytime that somebody signs contracts and anything like that, it's always best to use a notary public to include that clause where a notary public will be present in the signing. That way there's no question as to who were the people that signed that document, who were the signers. Okay,
another question here from one of our viewers. Can your paralegal guest do a divorce if no children or property is involved?
Correct. Those would be like your more simpler divorce cases. We call it legal separation.
Oh, got a call coming in.
Oh, we got a call.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yes. So that would be legal separation, and it's just something simple that I can certainly help with. I wouldn't give, again, advice, but I would just help them fill out the forms, the court documents.
Yeah, no legal advice.
Correct.
Okay. Caller, you're on the air with Thalia. Go ahead. Oh, you were there. Okay, we'll call back. 436-MeTV, option 11, if you want to ask her a question. Matter of fact, this is a good time to take a break, and we'll talk more with our guest about her business in just a moment.
Spinners Records, the Valley's classic vinyl headquarters, carries an inventory of over 500,000 classic LPs. Choose from rock, rhythm and blues, country, jazz, and oldies but goodies. Spinners also buys and sells fully restored old school stereo gear and LP. You can now get a turntable receiver and speakers for below $250. We carry name brands like Marantz, Sansui, and Pioneer.
At Spinners, we sell memories.
Spinners Records at 639 East Olive Avenue in the Tower District.
Frigidaire. It means the first electric refrigerator. The first compact electric range. Now, there's the Frigidaire Gallery Range with Symmetry double ovens. It's designed to cook multiple dishes at multiple temperatures, so you can prepare the entire meal at the same time. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Back here on the program, our focus today is on business, of course, and Thalia Arenas is here, and she wears several different hats. I want to talk about the fact that you are also a paralegal. Let's put that up on the screen here. We'll talk about the various bullet points that we're going to be looking at here. So why don't we go through these one at a time, and you can describe what you do as a paralegal, noting that you are not an attorney and you cannot give legal advice.
Correct. So I went to school at Fresno City College through the Paralegal Studies program. That's how I acquired my associate in science degree in order to become familiar with this area. I fill out legal docs. So this is where the legal document assistants would come in. That's how I use my paralegal title. I just help them fill out the legal documents. So it could range from the dissolution of marriage, which is also known as divorce, child support, custody issues, eviction, helping them with the legal jargon of those forms. If it can't, but I can't give that legal advice. So that just kind of depicts the different situations that I can help them out in.
How is it though that you can explain the legal jargon to a certain extent, but you can't give legal advice? Why is that acceptable?
Okay, so then I would just provide like a different kind of definition or a different way of understanding the question, but I would just explain it. They would have to try to provide those answers based on what I just asked them. So I'm just in another sense not necessarily translating. Well, sometimes it requires me to translate because I might be talking to a Spanish-speaking person, but it's just letting them understand what that question is, and then they provide the answer. So I don't give them an answer. So I don't say, you should check this box or you should check that. Versus an attorney, they would tell you, you know what, based on what you just told me, I think you need to check this box, or we need to fill out the forms in this manner.
Yeah, so you don't suggest what box for them to check or what documents to sign. All you're there to do is to explain what the document says.
Correct.
And try to explain to them the meaning of the document.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you're not giving them legal advice. I think you ought to sign this one and not this one.
Correct.
That's giving legal advice if you do that.
Yeah.
Okay, put those back up on the screen because I do want to ask you a question about one of them, and that is filing divorce papers. We got a question, of course, from one of our viewers saying, you know, do you do divorces if there are no children or property involved? But what if there is property involved? What if there is children? What if there are several children involved and someone comes to you and says, look, I have a problem. We have all these assets. I have children. We don't want to go to an attorney. Do you do that kind of a divorce also?
It just depends. Usually when
Isn't that more complex?
It does get complex depending on the case. So like when they come to me with their information, I ask them some preliminary questions to try to figure out how complex is their case. If I feel that there's a lot of property and assets involved, I'm just going to direct them to a family attorney. So family law.
So you do child support. What does that mean?
Child support. So if somebody, sometimes they like the wife or the ex-wife or the mother of the child is seeking to, for child support, then there are some documents that need to be filled out. So then again, it would go back to me helping them fill out those documents.
Okay.
That's what
and
that means.
Custody issues. If you can't give legal advice and you can't act as an attorney, how do you resolve a custody issue?
Okay. So all this has to do purely with the forms. It has, exactly. I would just direct them where they need to find the forms, and then I would go ahead and then help them fill them out, but I would not provide the advice or anything.
Yeah, so if you're dealing with a custody issue, you're not advising them, well, you ought to split your time, half and half or 3/4 or whatever. They're just simply come in to your office, they provide you with the document.
Correct.
And then they say, can you help me notarize this? I have to get this filled out. And then you submit those papers to the court?
I would send them back with the documents to the court. So I wouldn't necessarily go in person. Exactly. Yeah. So when they come and then they bring me those documents, I would fill them out and then I would just redirect them back to court so they can. And then again, I wouldn't also, another thing I wouldn't do is choose the documents for them. I would just direct them to the court. The court would let them know what kind of documents that needs to be filled out. They bring them to me. I fill them out and then I have them go and return them.
So when they come to you, they already have it square in their mind how the divorce is going to play out, what the custody issue is going to be. The issues are already on the table and the issues have been resolved when they come to you. They don't come to you with unresolved issues and expect you to to solve them. Am I correct?
No, that's actually incorrect. They come to me in situations where they really don't know what to do. They have no idea, so they want to use me as an attorney most of the time because they know that because they know that my services are at the low cost. So that tends to there's a misconception thinking that I can do the work at a lesser cost that the attorney's going to be able to do.
So theoretically, they should come to you when all those other issues are resolved prior to coming into your office.
Correct.
But instead, the opposite is happening. They're coming to you for legal advice, and what do you tell them?
And then I have to let them know I'm not here to provide legal advice. I am here only to help you solely with the filling out the documents and letting you know what the meaning of it is, and how to fill them, or not how to fill them out, but I can help you fill them out. But I'm not gonna be able to just fill them out, advise you and tell you what you need to check or anything like that.
Why is it that they're getting misinformed that way? Do they just not understand the legal system?
Exactly. It's the fact that the misunderstanding of the legal system, because somebody can represent themselves in court, so they think that you would be able to do the same for them, that you can help them out in that manner, but that's not necessarily. The only person that can represent you in court would be an attorney, and that can provide you with that advice.
So the most of the people that do come to see you for a divorce come in expecting Thalia, I need you to solve this problem for me. I don't know what to do. And so that's pretty amazing. And how many of those cases do you see?
All the time.
All the
ones that are coming in like with no prior understanding of the legal system. Because again, usually the customers that I help are from they're Hispanic. So because of that, again, a notary public is regarded differently in Mexico. So they think that because I'm also a notary public that I can provide those services for them here, and that's where the misconception comes.
I see. All right, we're going to take a break here. We're talking with Thalia Arenas, and she wears 4 different hats, and she does several different jobs, my friend. She's incredible. I'll tell you what, if you want to call in at 436-ME-TV, option 11, and ask her any type of questions, even if you're Hispanic and you speak and understand the English language, but want to ask her something in Spanish and don't understand quite what's going on, feel free to call in. We're here until 11 o'clock this morning. Back in just a moment.
Spinners Records, the Valley's classic vinyl headquarters, carries an inventory of over 500,000 classic LPs. Choose from rock, rhythm and blues, country, jazz, and oldies but goodies. Spinners also buys and sells fully restored, old-school stereo gear and LP. You can now get a turntable receiver and speakers for below $250. We carry name brands like Marantz, Sansui, and Pioneer.
At Spinners, we sell memories.
Spinners Records at 639 East Olive Avenue in the Tower District.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Back here with Thalia Arenas, and I want to put up the paralegal full-screen graphic on one more time because I do want to talk about evictions. How many of these requests do you get?
I don't get them often. I think I've done like 2 that I've been able to help with. So
what happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, in one case, it was this tenant that just so it was somebody that was subleasing the different rooms, right? So that person was renting from somebody else, and then they sublet the rooms. But that person was just not willing to leave one of the rooms, and they wanted to take it up with the landlord, but they were not renting from the landlord; they were renting from the subletter, the renter of the exactly. So that was one particular case, and then in another situation, we had another person who was at the property doing drugs and things like that, and the landlord did not want them there for those purposes. So
wow, was it a difficult process? And what kind of services do you provide in that eviction process?
Again, it's purely documents. They bring
purely documents.
Yeah, that's all. That's
all.
They
bring you the document.
Yeah, and
it gets notarized. It gets signed. You help them.
The legal documents actually that they bring from the court doesn't need to be notarized. They bring them. Yeah, they just bring them to me so I can help them fill them out.
You can help them fill. You can explain it to them, help them fill it out. But again, to reiterate 1,001 times, you cannot give legal advice.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, and we've already went through. You help them with the legal jargon, and you can't obviously be an attorney for them. I do have a couple of questions from our viewers. It says, if possible for is it possible for Thalia to officiate at a local parish, I guess, during a wedding? And if so, have you done that before, and can you do it?
Correct, yes. So sometimes it be that they would like me to use a church, or and they don't necessarily want to use the minister that is already assigned to that church, so I can certainly go in and then fulfill the wedding officiant services.
You can work alongside a pastor or
I
priest.
can work alongside them, or I can just, they allow us to rent the facilities and stuff, so they don't necessarily have to
so
be
you can do both.
Exactly, they don't necessarily have to.
Have you done that?
Yes, I have.
You have? Where?
Yes.
Can you say what parish?
Yes, I don't recall the name. It's on, I think it was on Ashland. I don't recall the name of the location.
Interesting. Okay, another one here. It says, can you do amnesty paperwork?
Okay, so that's probably a question regarding immigration. I can help out fill out those immigration documents, but again, it would just be to provide the meanings and the understanding of what the forms indicate, but I wouldn't advise or anything like that. So in case I'm not sure, again, I like to explain that from the get-go, just because I feel that that's where the question's kind of coming from. They might want like specific answers. So I can't tell them where they would, what forms they need. I just recommend that they would go to the courthouse, ask them there, and then they would provide them the forms, and at that point they can bring them to me.
Okay. Do you know of any other service that is like yours in the city of Fresno?
Correct, yes. There's other service providers that do legal document assistance.
Do they show up at people's homes?
They can do both. Yeah, I've noticed that. So there is other people that can certainly help.
So there is competition out there.
There is competition.
How much competition?
I would probably say that it's strong.
Really?
Yeah, it is strong. There's a lot of people that are helping with legal document assistance. That's probably the bigger one. When it comes to the wedding officiant services, there's not as much competition for that. So right now, that's been my more, you could say, my more aggressive point where I've been targeting. With Valentine's coming up, so we're going to see, we're going to see an increase in weddings and things like that. So right now, that's been my focal point.
Right. Okay. You're also a translator, and a lot of people do this type of work because there are a lot of Hispanics here in the area. So, I mean, we put this up on the screen so our viewers can look at some of the work that you do. You do legal documents. What sort of legal documents? Just anything under the sun, pretty much?
Yeah, pretty much. They would bring me a document. It could be translating, because there's a difference. This is something I like to explain. There's a difference between a translator and an interpreter. An interpreter is one that would give you the meaning of the spoken word, and then a translator would translate documents or the written word, per se. And so I am fluent in English and Spanish. I can read and write in both languages. And so when customers bring me documents, it's usually either legal documents, or it has to do with me just reading it to them, or it could be that they actually need the document to be translated into the English language. For example, immigration, before you submit documents to them, because those documents are coming from other countries. So for example, if they're bringing a birth certificate from Mexico, the immigration is going to want them to see that document in English. They want the words in English to understand what it says. So at that point, I would help with that.
Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering, where would I go to get more information about the wedding services?
Certainly. Okay. So you can contact me at 559-718-0405. The flyer's on the screen there on TV. And so that gives you some information, and I can certainly be in contact with you via telephone, and then we can plan that out for you. So I have a home wedding office, or we can do it at your venue if you have a desired location.
Are you in the verge? Are you, ma'am, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you on the verge of getting married?
Yes, we are. We're planning on getting married in February on Valentine's Day.
Oh, congratulations!
14th.
Great. And have you picked out a venue yet?
Not yet. We're still deciding.
Okay.
Oh, so you haven't? How long have you been engaged?
Well, we've been for like 9 years together. All together, 9 years.
Oh, I see. So
just
you just
barely.
Right. And you don't, at this point, you don't choose to get married in a church or some other kind of event. You want somebody like Thalia to come in, and you want this done at your home, or what?
We were thinking about it in our home, but we're really not sure yet. We're still trying to decide on that.
Okay. Here's some, if you're looking at your television screen, what's your first name, ma'am? I'm sorry.
It's Crystal.
Crystal, okay, if you look up on your screen there, you can see some of the wedding packages. They start from $100 up to $150, and then it goes up to $170, and then up to $200. So, I mean, Thalia can explain it a little bit better than I can as far as the wedding packages are concerned. So it's not that expensive. And have you been married before, if you don't mind me asking?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So you know all about, you know, what it's like to get married, and so this would be it. You're looking for something. You're looking for a simple ceremony. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, did you jot down the telephone number there?
Yes, I did. I got it.
You got it. Okay. Well, you know what? Do you have any other questions for Thalia?
No, that's it.
Okay, thank you. I look forward to speaking with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck to you. Thank you for
Congratulations.
calling.
Yeah.
Thank
Good luck. All right. So that's kind of how it gets started, right? People,
exactly.
You know, they're interested in getting married, or they need a document signed, or whatever else needs to be done. I want to put the translator back up on the screen. We got to take a break. Okay, we'll do that after the break. We're talking with Thalia Arenas, and she's a translator, a paralegal. She can wed you if you want. We're back with our program 436 MeTV option 11 in just a moment.
A top secret location. It's the spies who love me, bringing together MeTV's top super spies to fight evil at a memorable moment's notice. They're daring.
That's right.
Brave.
Now what are we gonna do?
The best we can.
Suave.
Does that apply to me, Oscar?
Possibly.
And smart.
The old finger in the gun trick.
Maxwell Smart.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Okay, back here on the program with Thalia Arenas, and she is, well, she wears many hats. She's a translator, she is a public notary, she's a paralegal. Let's put up the translator full screen one more time. I want to ask you a little bit about this. Obviously, you explain the difference between an interpreter and a translator. A translator, you explain documents more so than you interpret.
Either I would read the documents to them in their language, or it could be that they would need the forms and translate it to a different language, so like to English, for example.
Yeah. Okay. Submitting court papers. What kind of court papers are we talking about submitting?
So sometimes,
what's most of your business?
Okay, so it tends to be, it's interesting, but it's actually divorces. So on one side I'm marrying, and on another side I'm divorcing couples, which is...
Isn't that weird?
It is. It's interesting. So not really with the submitting. It has to do more with the forms that they have to submit. They'll bring them to me, and then they just need understanding as to what the documents say. So because they're not familiar, or what could happen that they received like a document from somebody that wants to divorce them, and they're like, well, I don't know what this form means. I just got it from, you know, I know it came from the court, but I don't know what it means. Or
I just thought of something funny.
Oh.
After you marry somebody, do you slip them your business card and say, I also do divorces?
It's all on the business card, so they can see that, yeah, in case that ever comes up.
So what's the ratio of weddings versus divorces?
I currently have been doing more divorces.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's with a lot of kids involved, I'll bet.
Yes, that tends to be the case. There is some children involved. Not a lot of property. That tends not to be the case, but it's usually children involved, yeah.
Yeah, usually, and sometimes there isn't. Sometimes you get somebody who they didn't have kids for whatever reason, and you know, in some cases that might be a good thing, because then they can just go their own separate ways and never talk to each other again, you know, not have to deal with the situation. Go back to the translator full screen. Okay, passports. Interested in this. Okay. Because what do you get? Most of the immigrants that you get, are they from Mexico? Are they dealing with passports? And if so, what kind of passports are you dealing with here? Where are people wanting to go?
Okay, so the passport question has to do with them helping them understand that passport application and where do they need to like submit it and things like that. So that's really what they're asking. So when I'm helping them translating the passport, is just helping understand what that application means. So it's not helping them through the passport process, it's just helping them fill out the application or translate it for them, or both.
Fill out the application. And where do you get those passport applications? Is it still the main post office?
It depends. Like for the clients that are coming in and that might be requiring or needing a passport, and if they're from Mexico, for example, they have to go to the Mexican consulate, and then that's where they would obtain the forms. If it's a U.S. citizen, then they can go, for example, to the post office and they can obtain an application there.
Really? So if you're from Mexico and you're an immigrant here, you go where?
To the consulate. So whatever.
Where's that located?
It's on Ingram and Herndon.
Ingram and Herndon is
That's
where
the
the
Mexican consulate is.
And you have to go there to obtain the passport application?
Correct, yeah. And usually they can help you with this. So that's I haven't had to do a lot of those. Most of them have to do with the passport for a child. So it's like Mexican parents who have a U.S. citizen child, and they need to help or they need help filling out that application, the English one. So. Yeah.
Let me ask you, have you had... What's the main focus of your business? Are you getting more business from, say, weddings?
It's notaries.
It's notaries. That's where most of your business is right
Correct.
now.
More people need that much more often. The banks require it kind of often, like when they're doing like a home mortgage, like modification and things like that. So that tends to come up a little bit much more often, or like vehicle, like if there's going to be exchange in owners and like vehicle titles or things like that. So.
What do you charge for something like that, to have something notarized?
Simple notarization, like if it's an acknowledgement or jurat, it's $10, and then plus a traveling fee. Usually it's $10. So, or they can come to my home office, and then there is no travel fee. It's just a $10 for the stamp and the signature.
Yeah, it's very cheap then.
It is, yeah. And actually, it is indicated by California law what's the maximum that notaries can charge for the services.
What is it?
$10 is a maximum.
That's all you can charge.
Yeah, it's either 10 or nothing or whatever it is that we choose, but it has to be 10 or under. So usually most notaries will charge you the maximum, which is a $10.
So that's where most of your business is coming from right now.
Yeah, this is much more common.
Yeah, it is. Okay, we're talking with Thalia Arenas, and she wears 4 different hats, and you wear one right now. You are watching our program on MeTV Fresno 436, MeTV, option 11, if you want to call in and ask a question. Back in a moment.
It's almost time. Now we'll find out once and for all about Clark Kent, Superman.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a TV show.
Yes, but who is he? What's his name?
He's Superman.
Golly, Clark, won't that be wonderful seeing Superman?
Fighting a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and television the MeTV way.
No one can do the things that Superman does.
The adventures of Superman.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
All right, back here on the program on Connect with Me, and another question, an email viewer, I guess weighing in here. Because of Thalia's experience in the field, does she do any personal counseling or give any personal advice?
I do not. Again, I cannot provide legal advice. I think the only...
you do any counseling?
Counseling. When it comes to the wedding officiant services, not necessarily counseling, but I do provide like the questions and trying to get like the couple situated or get themselves situated with what it is that they want to plan accordingly. So they're not really sure. Sometimes they want to use me as a wedding planner. That's another thing that there's a misconception about. What is a wedding officiant? It's like a minister, but they use me as a wedding planner because they'll come to me either like at the beginning of their wedding when they don't have anything planned out and they have no idea what to do.
So you help them plan that out.
So I can certainly help them with that as well. So
yeah, because that's not a legal issue.
That's exactly not a legal issue.
Yeah, and so that's what a wedding officiant does, is to help them plan and conduct the wedding.
Well, the wedding officiant services would just be to do the actual ceremony, to perform it or conduct it. but I can certainly open my services up, and I can do some wedding planning for them as well. That's not a problem.
Before we put a bunch of pictures up, because you've done several weddings, conducted and presided over them, I want to put up the wedding packages one more time and show people the prices here real quick. They start at $100, fairly cheap. That's the rock bottom basic price for just a general, very simple ceremony. You can ratchet that up to $150, and then it goes up to $170 if you want a much more elaborate ceremony. And then $200 is the maximum package. It's the honeymoon package.
The honeymoon.
All right.
Yeah.
So you get all sorts of you get all sorts of goodies in that package there. And so we'll go talk. Let's talk about some of the photos now. We'll go to the photos. And you, like I said, you've presided over many weddings. We'll just have you explain what we're looking at here in each of these photos.
This is just a quick caption of I have a wedding room in my home. So this is just the arch. This is your home? Yes. This is the arch.
Wedding room in your home?
This is the arch that I use, and then it's just a little setup of some flowers there just for presentation. But that's just a quick. I have several rooms in the house, so I use one as I am fixing one up. That's going to be my wedding room officially, and then I have the office. So 2 separate rooms.
Wow. Wow, so people can come to your house.
Yes.
Okay, what's this
And
here?
this is at a rehearsal. So the several pictures that we will see is going to be from one wedding, and so this one is at the rehearsal. It's the day before the wedding. So we are getting ourselves situated as how we are to present ourselves the day of the ceremony, how everybody needs to line up, all the groomsmen and the maids. And so we were just kind of rehearsing, and that's me kind of calling them over and just beginning from the bottom on up. And that's the couple. So just getting them in their proper places, because sometimes they have a preference. Well, I want to be on the right or I want to be on the left. So just figuring out where it is that they like best to stand for the day of the wedding.
Yeah. Is this a Spanish wedding? Or
yes,
what?
This was a Spanish wedding, Spanish-speaking wedding, Hispanic family, and so that is the beginning of the ceremony. So we just have a caption of the tables and the arch and all that. So
Beautiful.
The arch I didn't provide. It was they rented it themselves, and then here comes the mother of the groom. And so and I think he has the mother, or his mother, and then his bride's mother on the other side, I believe. I forget exactly, but he was walking them out. And then here is where they finally arrived to the table, where I would be conducting the ceremony. And I have a table. That's what their preference was. I told them if they wanted the table on the side or in front of me. They wanted it in front, because they wanted to do the signing in front of everybody. I had another couple that chose to do the signing afterwards. They just wanted to do the ceremony at that moment. Pure ceremony.
All right.
And then so here comes the bride. So she's being escorted out by one of her younger sons.
There's music playing here?
Yeah, there's music. Yeah. So I also
Is
have
this
to.
at your home?
No, this is at their home, in their backyard.
Okay.
And so I also have to get connected with the DJ to find out if they're going to be able to provide some music during the ceremony, and how long is their DJ going to be there for, or whoever's doing that. Yeah. And so here's where we're commencing the ceremony. So that's
Beautiful.
and so there's the arch and the couple, very nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then here is the 2 witnesses, and so they are signing the document.
So this is when the wedding is complete, it's done?
Yes, correct.
And then
and
what do you say at the end? I now pronounce you man and wife, or what? What do you say? What's your typical saying?
I always change it up, but usually that tends to be
powers
the case.
vested in me in the state of California?
Exactly.
Is that what you say?
All that. Yes.
That's funny.
And then here's one wedding that I did in the wedding room I have in my home. So that's one couple that chose to do it in the home versus at their venue or their location.
Okay. Well, the powers are vested in me by Mark Sheeran and Ventura TV. I pronounce this a very good show.
Oh, great. Thank you.
So those are all the photos. And how many weddings would you say you've done?
I've probably done about 15 to 20 weddings.
Wow.
So it's not a lot. It's been since 2012, so it hasn't been many, but I can see now that I've been doing a little bit more advertisement this year, I've gotten a lot of calls for booking. So I have one in October that I mentioned earlier, the gay wedding, and then I have one in June, and so I have a few programs, and then I have a couple other brides I need to confirm.
Interesting about the gay wedding. Of course, gay marriage is legal here in the state of California,
Correct.
finally.
Yes.
And a lot of people agree with that. And you're going to be presiding over this. And I want to put up the flyer, the wedding flyer one more time, because we have less than 30 seconds left. That's your phone number right there, 718-0405.
Correct.
If you want to get married, if you need a translator, if you need a paralegal, And, my friends, if you need a notary public, she does all 4 of those, wears 4 different hats. Thalia, thank you very much.
Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you. You were a great guest, and good luck to you in your business. And you're going to come back again, of course, representing the SPCA.
I'll be back
All
with
right.
the little furry puppy.
All right. Thank you very much.
You.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right. That's our program for today here on Connect with Me. Back tomorrow with another edition. We're going to talk to a wedding DJ, and he's a well-known figure here in the Central Valley. Back tomorrow. Have a great day and stay safe.
Tonight I want to discuss the importance of the television medium to the American people.
Frigidaire. It means the first refrigerator. It means a history of innovations that help make your home life better. And now we introduce the new Frigidaire French door refrigerator with over 100 ways to organize for maximum flexibility. Built with adjustable flip-up and slide-under shelving and stackable crisper drawers. It's the refrigerator that flexes to fit it all, no matter what your day will bring. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.